a long-standing tension between the hill people and the valley people. The Meitei community demanding for ST status and a recent HC order, the High Court order that has boosted their aspirations as well. From Manipur violence, from army deployment to shoot at sight orders, what's really happening on ground zero. Now the centre has promulgated Article 355 in Manipur to take charge of the security after a spate of arson and violence in the hilly and valley areas following Wednesday's tribal solidarity march. The ethnic clashes between tribal Kukis and the non-tribal Meitei majority has resulted in a complete law and order situation in the state. The loss of job opportunities and other affirmative actions granted to the STs by the Constitution of India is something that the other communities are now putting forth, saying that the Meitei community is already so densely populated, it has the majority. Giving them the ST status will only curtail and hamper our own benefits. On the other hand, other arguments against the demand have been that the Manipuri language of the Meiteis is already included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution, and that sections of the Meitei community, which is predominantly Hindu, are already classified under scheduled castes, which is the SC, or the other backward classes, the OBC, and have access to the opportunities associated with that status. Now, is this demand the only reason for the conflict that is rocking the state currently? In late April, Churachandpur witnessed violence after a mob attacked an open gym that was to be inaugurated by Chief Minister Biren Singh the following day. A major reason for the discontentment has been that the state government's notices since last August, claiming that 38 villages in the Churachandpur Khopum protected forest area are illegal settlements and its residents are, well, quote unquote, encroachers. Following this, the government set out an eviction drive which has resulted in these particular clashes. Now, the government has also appointed Ashutosh Sinha, ADGP Intelligence, as the overall operational commander to control the situation and bring normalcy in the state. According to a government order that was issued on Thursday, Ashutosh Sinha will work under the guidance and supervision of Kuldeep Singh, who is the security advisor for the government of Manipur. The order stated that the magistrates concerned with detailed required executive magistrates, special executive magistrates, as and when required and requisitioned. Meanwhile, as many as 1,075 personnel of the Rapid Action Force, the RAF, have been deployed in Manipur to bring the situation under control and back to normalcy. This according to official sources. Now, they have been transported in Indian Air Force's flight IL-76 as per the sources. The RAF personnel are brought in from Delhi, Punjab, Tripura and Mumbai. Now, earlier in the day, the Chief Minister, in his address to the people of the state of Manipur, Biren Singh appealed to all to maintain peace and harmony in the state. And at the same time, we here at News9 Live would also like to extend an appeal to stop sharing fake videos on Manipur violence. All reliable and factual news and elements are with News9 and can be watched on our platforms across YouTube, Facebook and Twitter as well. A lot of visuals coming in from various hospitals because injuries have also taken place. Curfew, Section 144, Article 355 that has been promulgated. So much happening in Manipur as we speak. But the bigger questions, what's behind the violence in Manipur? Is it just the long-standing tension between the hill and the valley people? Is it the Meitei's demand for the ST status? Is it the High Court order, which many are now saying is also being looked at judicial overreach? There is the land resource exploitation, the number game when we're looking at Meitei's dominance, and the geography. Heavily dominated and populated central valleys, whereas 90% of the outer periphery, which is the hilly area, has lesser population. So that's the number game over there. There's pressure on the state government, be it 2013's protest by the Meitei community, be it 2019's protest by the Meitei community. The ST inclusion is something that is very crucial and important for the people of the Meitei community, which they feel are an indigenous tribe before independence. Now, in terms of history, what does history tell us? What is the tribal demographics? Earlier in the day, we saw that the Kuki community, the females and women from the Kuki community, had made a human chain to make sure that all the Meiteis that were being evacuated from those clash-ridden areas, their wouldn't be a particular clash. The ladies from the Kuki community making a human chain. There's also politics around it. Congress calling out the BJP's double-engine government. Mallikarjun Kharge taking to the microblog website X, and former Chief Minister Mr. Okram also hitting out at the BJP government. The indigenous status demand, which is most important for the Meitei community. What's the way forward there? Has the Central Action and the Swift Movement, the CRPF, Assam Rifles, the Rapid Action Force that has now been deployed on the ground, is that particular action enough at this point in time? The loss of job opportunities and all the other concerns of the other tribal groups, are those justified or not as well? So in the last 24 hours, Mr. Raza, do you think the action that has been taken on the ground that has been swift enough? Have we been able to curtail the situation? Has peace now been given a chance at the moment? Fresh visuals that are coming out, there is fire and incidents of arson here and there.
Well, Kabir, I think right now the biggest priority is peace. And in that respect, I would say that the central government has done the right thing by appointing a security advisor, invoked Article 355, which enjoins upon the center to save any state from external aggression. You see, things have been very, very unfortunate. I would say that is a combination of various factors, seemingly intractable issues which have been going on for a long time. But for the present, what is happening is extremely unfortunate. There have been reports, as you said, of injuries and some deaths too from the hospitals. But most important right now is to stop these fake videos, stop all kinds of rumors, and bring peace to the valley and also the hill districts. I would say that the wound was festering for some time now. The land eviction in the forests was creating and sending out signals, but the government was firm because it was saying that it is evicting people from illegally occupied areas in the forest, and also the poppy cultivation, which is a serious problem. There are a host of issues, which have joined one with the other. As you rightly said, that this demand for ST is being violently opposed by the Naga and the Kuki tribes, and Meiteis claim that they already had this before the joining of the state with the union. So, there has to be a complete concentrated approach later of various parties across the table. But right now, yes, I won't say it was late. I would say that the action which was taken was as far as the building of the situation was concerned. But right now, yes, the clarion call should be for peace. And another thing which I would, really expect from the other political parties to not meddle into a political kind of a slanging right now and grandstanding as to who's better and who's not better. The priority has to be peace for the people. And I do hope there is a joint stand, there's a joint appeal by the various parties to first bring peace and then carry on the governance and the other things which have to be brought to the table for talks in Manipur.
What are you picking up from your sources? What's really happening on the ground per se? Have the forces, the central government, the promulgation of Article 355 been able to maintain the situation in those crisis-ridden areas, especially Churachandpur and Imphal? What's the situation like on the ground right now?
Well, it's a very welcome step that the central government has stepped in, and the governor's report has actually made them promulgate Article 355. This is a very clear evidence that the center realizes that the state government has completely failed. They failed to anticipate this kind of a groundswell. They failed to anticipate everything. So let's not get into, sort of state government bashing. But the fact is that we take it from here, 355. Central government directly, is going to sort of take charge of the situation. But the most important thing is, the reaction in Imphal. what was happening till yesterday was the violence and the trouble that we saw in Churachandpur and certain other areas, which were tribal dominated, Kuki dominated. But now you have a strong Meitei reaction. Churches have been burned down, at least six. Couple of people have been killed. I won't get into the exact figures because there are still conflicting figures. But the fact is that for the first time, even during the 2001 violence, in which the Meiteis went on the rampage because they were upset with the extension of the Naga ceasefire to Manipur. At that time, there was no killing. There was no attack on anybody else. There was anger against NSCN. There was anger, but no Nagas were targeted at that point of time. The target was against the government. The assembly was burned down. A couple of political party offices were burned down. But this time, there has been attacks and people have been killed. Tribal people have been killed. Churches, predominantly sort of, which are used by tribal people in Imphal, have been burned down. So the situation is indeed very serious. And the promulgation of 355 is very timely. The center is taking over. The army has done flag marches in different areas. But the sentiments, the sort of passions are running very, very high.